Hello, going to be taking a look at the Forza 7 demo, which just came onto the Windows Store recently. This is a Windows Store only game and demo. First of all, we're going to be running at 4K resolution, and this game uses dynamic render quality and dynamic optimization, so hopefully it sticks at what I've set it to, but it could vary depending on what the game decides to do. The game itself, you have a performance target here which you can set. Now, I've realised, like, there's 60 FPS VSync, 60 FPS, 30 FPS VSync, 30 FPS. I'm going to try to leave that dynamic. When I had it at 60 FPS, not the VSync mode, it was still VSync at the 30, so hopefully dynamic will let us just run or whatever. We'll see. Now, as for all these settings, this is all max settings. Some options only go up to high, others go up to ultra, but we're all at maxed here. Apart from MSIA goes up to 8, we're going to be running at 2, and this is because we're at 4K resolution and high MSIA settings are not required. So, performance scale, running at native, everything else is maxed out, as if motion blur is also turned off because I do not like motion blur. Right, as for audio, this game is very loud. Like, you might hear the music in the background is quite loud, and when we get in the game the cars are going to be loud. I'm going to actually turn that down ever so slightly, and this is also, like, it's a little bar you drag, so that's a bit finicky. I'm going to leave that down there because it's super loud. Right, now as we're going to load up here, I'll do us on the most demanding track first, which is this one because it rains. Right, as for the game itself, in terms of port quality, it does not support 21:9 resolutions. It has a problem with any refresh rate above 60. As you saw in the target, you can only do a target of 30 or 60. This monitor is 100 Hz, and that was not an option. So getting your actual native refresh rate could be a problem if you're above 60, well, above a 60 Hz screen. And the crashing problems seem quite severe. I've tried to launch this game probably about 12 times, and it's crashed, I think, about 9 of those times. And I don't know why. It seems to have more luck with MSI Afterburner disabled when I launch it, and launch it afterwards. After I get past the main menu. But it's still not guaranteed. It still crashes when it wants, which is a real shame. Hopefully it gets fixed after this demo. Right, now you're going to hear how loud these bloody cars are. Oh, cockpit mode, I think that's a bit quieter. Now, this first track, you may notice that the track itself looks very odd. I'm not sure if it's because it's grey. I'm just going to cut this. I'm not sure if it's because it's grey, but the texture looks kind of flat. I think it's more to do with the lighting, honestly, and the cloudy skies. Because I've run the Dubai track after this one, and you'll see that that one looks a lot better. I'm just going to be running on this track until it starts raining and gets a downpour. Alright, as you can see the GPU usage at the top, we are capped at 60 FPS, though our GPU usage is at 80% roughly. This is not because we are CPU locked, despite our CPU being pegged at 100%. This is just the game. When I ran it originally on a 1080 Ti, I was locked to 100 FPS instead, and I was at around about 60% GPU usage. So 1080 Ti, that was on the high settings by the way, not max. So 1080 Ti max could hit around about 100 FPS on this. And on high settings you're looking at like 150 to 160. But it's just getting the game to allow you to run that since it locks weirdly. Right, as for the rain, it's starting to come in now. I'll switch this into cockpit mode. Cockpit mode seems to be the most demanding out of all of the camera modes. I'm guessing because of like actually rendering inside the car and also what we're seeing outside, combined with the reflections running off inside. You can see we've got a wind mirror there, and on other cars you have one on the top of the screen. I'm going to bring this out though because that's still extremely loud, even though it's on the lowest volume setting. I apologise for that if I'm hard to hear. As for VRAM usage, we're around about the 5 gig mark, and I've seen, well, I think this game sticks around there, at least on the 1070. I think on the 1080 Ti might be a little bit higher, but that's just because it's got more VRAM, so it's filling it. But as you may notice, we are VSync to 60, and I've got the frame timings up there. Oh my god, that was a tech crash, and that was a good example actually. Sometimes the frame timings are about 19 to 20 milliseconds, which it's a bit slow with 60 FPS, so I'm guessing I'm just maybe the VSync there, adding some more delay. So there's just a quick spike to 20 milliseconds there. I think that also gets patched out. But yeah, this is the Nuremberg track. I will just stop us here and put us onto the other map. But as I said, I do apologise if the car's extremely loud. I can't get them any quieter. But yeah, if you quit out of a race, it decides to tell you every award this game has won. And then it tells you you should pre-order one of these. Right. And do not pre-order one of these. The game is crashing like hell. Wait until it comes out and see if it's stopped crashing all the time. As for loading times, I'm on a hard drive. My SSD is I don't think I've got enough space on that, to be honest. But anyway, I'm not putting a 30 gig demo on SSD. That hitch was also the game. But yeah, as for CPU usage, this is another case of like DirectX 12 not being what it's hyped up to be for like the millionth time. Got 100% usage on CPU 1 and 4. This is generally at all times, regardless of frame rate. And then you've got these CPU cores back here, just not doing anything or much. So here's the buy, here's the more colourful track. You see that the road here I think just looks better than some of the cars, and I think it's just because of it being sunny, to be honest. Right, GPU usage on this track as well is also lower, thanks to, I'm guessing rain effects tanking it quite a bit. So that's why I wanted to show the rain first, because that is your worst case scenario. But on a track like this where it's sunny and you don't have all the rain and particle effects there, you are looking at about 60 to 70% GPU usage, which is really nice, because it means you should be looking at around about 80 FPS if the frame rate was uncapped, which, as a reminder, this is 4K max settings on a 1070, so it's a nice running game. It just needs to have its fixes. As for other port problems, there's been people I saw talking in the store about force feedback wheels. Now, me personally, I play races with a controller. I'm currently using keyboard, but I generally play them with a controller. I don't use a wheel, so if you have a wheel and you're curious, check the reviews in the store, check reviews when the game comes out, if it supports your wheel and the force feedback that you actually want to enjoy racing. This being a more console-centric game, though, I should imagine it's more tailored towards controller rather than a nice wheel. And I shall put us into cockpit mode here. And you can see, like, watch the GPU usage here, it's around about 80%. If I jump us out, it drops down to 64. That's because of the reflection in the top middle and the left hand side here, creating 2 extra rendering points. So the frame rate's going to be lower. Though I will say the reflection quality is okay, it's not too bad. It's a lot better than I remember a lot of old games used to be. But it's still very aliased, but I think generally unless you're going to be pumping up the aliasing and tanking your frame rate, that's kind of what you have to expect. Right, tonight I shall stop us a second just to find. I shall stop us outside the tunnel. Just to generally talk about the texture points in this game. The aesthetics are nice. As you can see, like, the game looks alright. I don't like how it's advertising the console there. We won't talk about that. The general aesthetics are nice, except for, as with most racing games, when you stop and get close to something. Like, if I'm not here. It's just around the corner, I think. These poles at the side, they generally look good. But sometimes pole, but then like, all these textures here on this barrier is rather flat. Might be a bit hard to see thanks to YouTube. And these poles have what looks like lighting on them, but when you stop you can see it's just like a static. Over here you can see it's just a static line. The tree models are okay, the grass is a bit crap, but as I said, it's a racing game, you don't really expect super high detail on all this stuff, but the game is meant to be played in motion like this, or like this, where you're not generally paying attention to that sort of thing. Right. Well, that's Forza 7 demo and how the performance is looking. As I said, performs well, crashes a lot. So get the demo for yourself, try it out, and definitely wait for the full release before buying, because if it has these crash issues at launch, then it's going to be a pretty bad launch. Right, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, ask them below in the comment section, and goodbye.